Now Doja Cat calls out her white fans, and Ice Spice gets caught in 4K. I'm really feeling this McDouble special, you know, like 2 topics in one video. If you want me to continue this, then like this video so I can continue doing this. Maybe we're gonna start calling this the Blackie McDouble special, you know, like 2 topics, 1 video, boom, just like a McDouble, right? That aside, guys, let's actually get into this first story, which involves Doja Cat calling out her white fans. So if you don't know what's going on, there's this clip that went viral on social media the other day, and it involves Doja Cat performing. I believe she was in Toronto, correct me if I'm wrong, but she was about to perform one of her records called Ain't Shit. Okay, and in this song, she talks about how niggas ain't shit. And essentially, she told her white fans right before she was about to perform the song, like, hey, hold up, just watch your goddamn mouth. Check out the clip. Now, I will say it does sound like Doja Cat was kind of having a little bit of fun with it, because on this song, right, she says niggas ain't shit, come up in your crib, all up in your fridge, can't pay your rent. Damn, she's talking about niggas like this? No wonder why the niggas don't like her, right? Look at what you did, listen to your friends when they say niggas ain't shit, cause niggas ain't shit, come up in your crib, all up in your fridge, can't pay rent. Again, no wonder why the niggas don't like Doja Cat. Look at how she's talking about us, right? So I guess we can consider this a, you know, she was giving her white fans a cautionary tale. But it's funny because 95% of Doja Cat's audience is white people. I don't know what you're expecting, Doja Cat, but you do have a, you know, stadium that's packed full of white people who are fans of you, and of course they're gonna sing the song. Come on now. But I want to talk about this because, you know, this is not the first time we've seen artists do this, and I'm sure you know how I feel about this because I've been very vocal about this. I've said it before, I'll say it again. If you as an artist, you don't want people to show up to your show and say a certain word, I say, how about you don't put that word in your music? Because this is a performance, this is a show, and all these people, they came to see you perform these songs. And naturally, when you're at a concert, you're there for the music, so what are you gonna do? You're gonna sing along to the song. At least in this situation, right? It doesn't really sound like Doja Cat was all that serious. To me, it sounded like she was kind of making light and, you know, fun of the situation. Like, hey, y'all better not say the N-word on this song I'm about to rap, where I literally say the N-word like 1 billion times. Now, speaking of that, though, we do have to keep this one thing in mind. Doja Cat does have a pretty questionable past, to say the least. And I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. If you don't know what I'm talking about, well, a few years back, Doja Cat, she was involved in this controversy where she was spotted, okay, she was caught in 4K in a chat room with a bunch of white dudes. Supposedly, I don't even know if this is true, but they were saying that these guys were white supremacists. That I don't really know, but, you know, she was in this chat room and she was throwing around the N-word, like with the ER, so N-I-G-G-E-R. And the whole thing was just like, it was weird. It was just so weird to see this. I don't know what the hell was going on in that chat room, but whatever it was, it didn't look good, right?
So easy and loose.
Let's go to the end.
And only 2 syllables.
Yes, Daddy.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Her shirt reminds me of a baby duck. Her shirt is like a chicken.
Oh my God. I'm sorry, my lady Dallas. What does her shirt remind you of?
Doja Cat and her, you know, white friends, they didn't really look like they were up to no good is what I'm saying. And 2 hours later after that, right, her black card was revoked. That's what happened. And one of the reasons why she got a lot of backlash for that was because, you know, people felt like, hey, you're half black, which if you guys didn't know, Doja Cat is actually half black. Why are you in this chat room throwing around this word with a bunch of white men? Like, what's going on here? Doja Cat dropped a statement and she said, I want to address what's been happening on Twitter. I've used public chat rooms to socialize since I was a child. I shouldn't have been on some of those chat room sites, but I personally have never been involved in any racist conversation. I'm sorry to everyone that I offended. I'm a black woman, half of my family is black from South Africa, shout out to South Africa, and I'm very proud of where I come from. Doja Cat continued and said, as for the old song that's resurfaced, we'll talk about that in a second, it was in no way tied to anything outside of my own personal experience. It was written in response to people who often use that term to hurt me. I made an attempt to flip its meaning, but recognized that it was a bad decision to use the term in my music. So the term didn't do nothing, for anyone who doesn't know, is a term that's essentially supposed to mock, you know, black people who are accused of a crime. It's a term that does not come from a good place, and it's supposed to actually target black people, again, who are just accused of a crime. So it does not come from a good place. Now, Doja Cat back in 2015, she actually dropped a record titled Didn't Do Nothing. And considering the history, especially with this Tiny Chat stuff, a lot of people took that as, wait a second, is this an anti-black record right here? Because you were in this chat saying all this weird stuff with these white dudes, and then now you have this term that's used against black people in your song. Like, you literally made a song about it. Now, the song itself, honestly, like, it's just, I don't think it's a big deal. It's more so Doja Cat's history along with her dropping this record in the past that kind of got the whole internet just riled up, and that's when her black card was revoked, right? People thought she was making light of police brutality, which is obviously a very serious thing, right? Especially as someone who's black. I mean, if you're out here even mildly making jokes about anything related to that, we're gonna have to question you, right? And so she got questioned. And again, personally, I don't think the song, I mean, the song is, it's not a big deal. It's more so the term, and then her having this past, and then just, it looks strange, and it's coming from, or it seemed like it was coming from a strange place. But she actually clarified, and she said, hey, this is not connected to anything. I literally just made this song because I wanted to kind of flip the meaning, and I had my own intentions about what I wanted to do with it. But obviously now, with me being involved in this controversy, I know it looks bad, but she apologized, and that's that, right? And you know, sometime last year, right, about a year ago, Doja Cat actually ended up addressing a lot of this criticism, you know, this anti-black criticism that she's received. Essentially, she was responding to the people who questioned her blackness. She was doing an interview, and this is what she said. She said, I read something the other day where someone said I was never surrounded by black people, and I have no black influence in my life, which is so unbelievably crazy to me. Growing up on the land, it was all black energy. My family was black. My mom was the only real white influence in my life. It's easy to make assumptions about people you don't know. She continued, I don't think people are trying to destroy my light or make me unhappy. I think it's just that they don't know. And I'll give Doja Cat the benefit of the doubt and say that, hey, I'm sure people don't really know the half of it, right? Rihanna, she has a song called Half of It where, you know, she's saying, you saw me on a television. Stop singing, bro. Stop singing, bro. Stop singing, bro. I'm sorry, I'm never gonna sing again, don't worry. Essentially, she was saying, you might see me posted up on the TV and on the screen, but you don't really know the half of it. And I'm sure this is very true. We don't really know the story, right? What people go based off of is the stories that are attached to your name. And Doja Cat, to be fair, was involved in some questionable things that made people question her blackness, and that's understandable considering some of the stuff we've talked about, right? Going back to her performing and, you know, saying watch your mouth, y'all know my stance on this, man. If you put certain words in your music, well, you can't expect people to not say those words, right? And the thing is, you know what the funny thing is, there's a lot of people who go to these shows, like white people, right? And a lot of times they actually don't say the word. Like, a lot of times I've been to like shows where I've literally like observed this, and I've seen people like actively jump over the word themselves. So it ain't like everybody's going to these shows like wanting to say this word. People just go and then they're singing along to the song, and then they say it because it's in the record. It's like it's second nature, right? So personally, I've never thought that there's any bad or like racial intentions behind it. I mean, there's certain artists like Schoolboy Q, he was kind of talking about it like, hey, I would be offended if you don't say it.
I wrote it, you know what I mean? They paid to see me. They obviously not racist, you know what I mean? Have fun. I mean, I said it. I want y'all to say it. That's why I dropped the beat. Don't be scared.
And then Travis Scott, a few years back, he literally forced one of his fans to say it. And honestly, I know a lot of people are not going to like this, but I thought that was a beautiful moment. I thought that was a very beautiful moment. Because if anything, that brings people closer together. Hey, we're here for this one night. We're about to turn the fuck. Life is short. Yes, this word that you're not supposed to say outside of this space right here is in this song, and you're not supposed to say it when you're outside this space, but hey, you're here for this night. Say it with me, because this is my music and this is my art. That's how I look at it. I never look at it as someone is saying it because they have malevolent intentions. No, that's not what it's about, man. People are there for the music. They're there to have a good time. And so if they say it, it's because it's a part of the performance and it's a part of the show that's being held and conducted. So I say, if you don't want people to say it, don't put it in your record. And even if you don't want people to say it, and even if as an artist you, let's say, tell people like, hey, don't say the word when you're about to perform a song that has the word in it, you got to keep in mind, even if you have that kind of power and I guess like clout to tell people what to do, it don't really matter at the end of the day, because once they leave the venue and they're in their car, you're still going to be enabling them to say the word because they're going to be saying the word because it's in your song and they're fans of you, right? So at the end of the day, you ain't really making too much of a difference, honestly. The only thing you're doing, however, is you're just stopping people from having a good time in that moment. That's all it is. Is it really that hard to not say a word? Blackie, why are you trying to enable this? I mean, is it that hard to not put it in your record before you literally put it out for the whole world to consume, right? Same thing could be said there. If anything, I think we got to be more mindful of what we put in the records and not so worried about what people are saying, because people are only going to say what you are reciting in your records to begin with. You get what I'm saying? Your Honor, case closed. I've said what I had to say about this topic. So let's move on to the next topic, which is Ice Spice being caught in 4K. Now, if you guys don't know what's happening, this is a crazy story. Hear me out. Crazy story. Ice Spice was caught in 4K, and let me show you this picture right here. So, if you're looking at the screen right now, you have Ice Spice without any makeup. Yes, guys, this literally went viral, okay? Ice Spice without makeup went viral because a bunch of dudes who ain't never seen a woman the morning after are saying that she looks different. That's what's going on. And by the way, she does look very different. I will agree with you. So let's talk a little bit about that. But you know, this photo right here went viral. And again, Ice Spice without any makeup. This photo is making its way around the internet right now as we speak. As BlackySpeakz, I should say, actually. And I was actually being very nice when I said that a lot of dudes are saying she looks different. I mean, honestly, a lot of dudes are literally just saying she looks terrible. I think Ice Spice, she looks good, okay? I will admit I do think she looks good, but I'm not like that, like I don't have like an inherent attraction for her, right? But she looks good, she has a nice figure or whatever. But I'm looking at this picture and I'm like, wait a second, are we really making a big deal out of a woman who didn't wear makeup? Like, that's what this is. Does she look different? Yes, she looks different. And here's the thing, right? How many women actually look drop dead gorgeous without any makeup? Like, that's a very small percentage. Makeup will significantly enhance most women's beauty. I mean, we know that shit, right? And then there's that very small percentage who just they just got good genes, and yes, they got makeup on and they look, they bad, right? And then there's that very small percentage where she got it on, she don't got it on. I mean, damn, she still look good though, man. And I'm like, God damn, bitch, chill. But clowning her, I mean, I think that's crazy, because ain't this most women? For the fellas who actually got sense, I mean, ain't this most women? Like, you tell me, broski. For the fellas who've actually been with a woman, like, bro, you know what's going on, right? A lot of these other guys on the internet, man, I don't really know if they know what's going on. You get what I'm saying? So you can relate, I understand, but there's a certain demographic of dudes who they don't really understand, right? All jokes aside, I do think there's another thing that comes into play here, and it's this, right? So you guys know how we live in a society where they promote sex everywhere. And what's happened is there's a lot of guys out there who they're damaged from these images, okay? They're damaged from these corn images, right? And so when they see a woman who looks regular, like just regular, suddenly normal is like ugly because their dopamine system is used to Pornhub, essentially. And that's because, a lot of people are suffering from this thing called overstimulation. Personally, I think that plays a part in something like this. This can't be as simple as, Ice Spice is getting clowned because she looks real different without makeup. There has to be something that's been going on in society. And personally, to me, since, I observe a lot of things and I see kind of how things change over time. And speaking for being a man, one thing I can say is this constant promotion of sex has completely messed up a lot of dudes' brains. I mean, why do you guys think there's a Brandon who literally paid, what was it, like $90K for Ruby Rose's OnlyFans? Guys, that's happening not only because of parasocial relationships, but because, I mean, we're just literally getting bombarded with sex images now. That's the standard on the internet. I mean, you can't even go on Twitter without having like a trillion corn videos just pop up randomly on a timeline. It's crazy. That's what the algorithm also promotes, because they know that that's what a lot of people want to see. And I think this is just doing a lot of damage to our brains, honestly. Like, it's doing a number, especially on like men. Like, it's doing such damage to us, man. And the guy version of this is like, when a lot of women on social media be talking about how, I want a guy who makes 6 figures and drives this car and does this for a job and is an entertainer, all this stuff, right? Not realizing that the average guy, just like how, you know, the average woman doesn't look like a bombshell, the average guy works a regular job. He ain't out here being on some rapper baller shit. He ain't got all the money in the world. He works a regular job. He does what he does, goes to the gym, lives a regular life like the rest of humanity. And then there's these women on social media talking about, I gotta have a guy who's making 300,000, and it's like, first of all, slow down. Like, are you making that kind of money? If you're not making that kind of money, and your father isn't making that kind of money, and your brother isn't making that kind of money, and your cousin ain't making that kind of money, what makes you think the average man is making 300,000-400,000? And what makes you think that guy who's making that money would even want you? I think a lot of people are just stuck in a place of delusion. Just like how a lot of these dudes on social media are criticizing Ice Spice for not wearing makeup and being a woman. We got a bunch of women who think that dudes should be making millions. And it's like, no, everybody's just going crazy. That's what I feel like. I think social media has done a number on people, man. How can we place these crazy expectations on other people when, number one, we ourselves know that we don't fulfill them? So most dudes ain't out here pulling in millions and, you know, can blow a bag on LV belts and take you on these extravagant trips to like Bali or whatever. If they are, by the way, a little secret, I'm sorry to do this, fellas, but I gotta do it. A lot of guys literally go into debt trying to maintain a lifestyle that they actually can't afford. That's a little secret. Like I'm saying, they're literally drowning in credit card debt because they're trying to maintain this lifestyle and this mask that they got it like that when they obviously don't. And there's no shame in that because most people don't got it like that. You should, however, be ashamed if you pretend that you got it like that and you mess up your whole damn life and situation because of that. And then on the other side, most women ain't waking up in the AM looking like Tyra Banks in her prime. That just doesn't happen in the real world, goddammit. So everybody, I think, is just going insane right now, man. And I think social media has literally fried our brains. Literally, like it's frying our brains, man. Anyway, a little bit of a rant. If you made it this far, could you do me a favor and maybe like this video and let me know what you think about this format. If you really like this, just make sure that you drop a like for your boy, okay? I appreciate you. Doja Cat versus her white fans and Ice Spice caught in 4K. Any thoughts on these topics? Curious to hear what you have to say. So definitely let me know in the comment section below, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace. I'm out.